What's up, my vibe tribe? You've reached Absolute Tarot Channel, and I'm your reader, CaraSeen. And today we're going to be talking about something that maybe not too many people want to talk about or admit. And now that we're all in isolation, forced isolation or quarantine, we have no choice. And maybe we're starting to recognize our other friends and family that have maybe been dealing with some mental health, and how some of their mental health concerns have caused them to feel isolated even in a crowd of people. You are experiencing what 1/8 the population on the planet is experiencing at all times before the COVID-19. I had problems starting this video at first because I didn't want to be judged. And this reading really is personal to me. And I had to just kind of write something down. It's like scratched out and redone. I'm not a professional, and I'm not going to claim to be a professional. I'm a YouTube creator. I'm an artist. And I'm a professional tarot reader and oracle reader. And today I got to read you this part because this reading comes from my heart, and it comes with you with absolute love and light, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes, okay? I'm not a professional therapist in any way, shape, or form, and this is, we have to say, the tarot, yes, is guided by my spirits and my guides, but this is not professional therapy advice, okay? I'm a professional reader that offer insight and experience from my guides, my spirits, and around me. And with this reading, may I ask, out of all the readings I've done, or all the readings anyone's done on YouTube, today of all days, I'm going to ask, please don't put a thumbs down or any negative comments, okay? Because I'll cry today. It'll just be like, no, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, not even a thumbs down. Just move on. Click off, find another reader. I'm not the reader for you. Today I'm doing something different. And I don't usually say this may not resonate because I'm quite confident of my abilities to interpret what the guides are sending me. But today this may not resonate with everyone. And because it is for a selected few of you. So I will say I apologize if this reading is not one of my normal reads. But I was deeply compelled to do this. I woke up this morning and I came up with the title, and I worked on the background and thumbnail, and while I did, and then I did wind up doing research, and I wound up reading a few articles today. I wound up actually even printing out a few articles today. I even wound up researching what happens to even university students, right down to people with borderline personality disorder. I'm a research whore. This is what I like to do. Don't be bored yet. This intro is going to be okay. So this read is for only a few of you that need it. It's going to be what's causing you to feel isolated and lonely. Some of you, it may now be because of the COVID-19. Some of you may have always felt isolated even with a group of people. Some of you may have always felt isolated even with family. Some of you may have felt isolated because you literally don't have a friend to talk to. And 1/8 of the population do not have a close friend, just someone to talk to. You can just tell about their day or how they tripped and fell or something silly or embarrassing or just like, oh my God, got a text message from him. Just anything, And not a lot of people have. If you're suffering from loneliness, you're not alone. And I want you to feel that the Absolute Tarot family here, my Vibe Tribe, is a community. And I really hope that we all can reach out, because I do have a few that I reach out, a few that we email, and we talk every day, and I love it. And it's become a really cool family and a really cool vibe. So if you guys want to reach out to each other in the comments, please do. This is not one of those times you have to say shout out to your pile. If you feel resonated to comment on this reading, that's cool and that's up to you. But please do it with love and light, and just be mindful of my heart when I'm giving this read, okay? Because I put a lot of energy and a lot of love into this read, and I'm not asking for compliments. I'm just saying be polite and be cool, mate. Today is going to be like maybe what's causing you to feel isolated and lonely and why I said that, and things to do to combat your social isolation and loneliness. You might be dealing with blocks, fears, and burdens. Who knows? We're going to come up with ideas and solutions today to different things you can do. So as we go into the 3 different pick-a-piles that I have here, we may kind of indulge with a few things. We're going to get some nice messages from the Goddess Oracle cards and my Moonology Oracle cards. And then we're going to do a little tarot as well and read that. As well as whatever comes up is what I will pertain to about 10 different ways. I'll just pick a top 10. 10 different ways of things we can do to help break those fears, burdens, or blocks. And we're all feeling a little lonely right now, and we're all feeling a little isolated. I quarantined at first. I isolated at first. I may have come into someone that's contact who has a COVID-19. So far, I haven't got anything, so I'm now back in quarantine for 14 days. Starting to feel it, my friends. Starting to feel it. So I'm doing different things, as well as my cat who's crying at the door because he wants to come in and talk to me and cuddle. But he likes to knock stuff down too at the same time, so we're not going to tolerate his bombardness. But anyway, we're going to overcome some isolation and loneliness today. We're going to come up with cool plans and things to do with yourself or family. This is kind of geared out to those of you that are mainly alone. Lone. And that includes those of you that are in relationships and that are feeling lonely as well. So we're going to do different things that we can go through together. And this is absolutely a positive reading, okay? This isn't like a sad or negative. We're just going to come up with some really cool ideas and come up with a cool plan and see whatever the spirit wants to tell us. And we'll go from there. All right, let's have a look down pile number 1, 2, or 3, and you can choose, and we'll see you there at your pile. Okay, first what I'd like you to do is pause just for a moment, take a deep breath, hold, and exhale. Now pause which one. Don't always pick the same stone or the same pile, the same number. Actually take a moment and pause and see which one that your guides bring you to. See which stone either resonates with you. You can also grab your pendulum. You can douse on it. You can pause the video. You can pause this for a moment. Whatever you dig on, as long as you like, I'd like you to pick from pile number 1. You can choose the pink rose quartz. Pile number 2, turquoise. Pile number 3, yellow citrine. So pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. As always, timestamps are down below, and I'll see you there in just a moment. Sending you much love and light, and please receive this reading with much love and light. Many blessings to you. So the first pile is rose quartz. This one's for you. We're going to start off with the tarot, and then we'll get into the oracle cards. And I like the oracle cards for kind of like an advice or clarity or confirmation. We'll find out as we get there. Now the first card we have starting off here is the Knight of Wands. This is some fire, creative energy. This is you. You're very creative, and you have that in you. You have that active personality and the way to create new projects. But are you doing that right now? Why are you feeling isolated? This is some fire energy that gives a sense of Aries and Sagittarius and Leo. This is passion. I have a kitty here too. This is passion. This is creative right now. This is a lust for life and something a little different. We have the King of Pentacles coming in here, and this is a solid, practical dude, man. This is This is a wise person. This is an investor. He's got 1 foot on a Taurus head and the 2 on his throne here and 2 above. This is some, yes, some Taurus energy. It's also earth energy. It's material. It's abundance energy. It's definitely Virgo and Capricorn, right? And Taurus energy coming in there with the King of Pentacles. Now with the King of Pentacles, it shows the vines. It shows the grapes in the picture. It shows that the vines can be harvested in the grapes, and the grapes are on his robes. It shows that the fruits of your labors. It shows the yellow skies, too, for prosperity. And I like seeing the clear skies here, too, the blue skies with the Knight of Wands. But right beneath those 2 guys, we have the 7 of Cups, and this is some commitment issues. And this is a lot of clouds in our blue skies. And this is clouds of confusion that's happening. This is also way too many choices. Do you have choices of what you can do right now in isolation? Or are there too many choices that are overwhelming you right now? Is it creating anxieties? Is it creating any fears? Is it creating any way that you're starting to pull back? Let's find out here. The next one here, we have the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands, yes, it's delays, it's lack of planning, it's setbacks, but this over and above all in this situation is no foresight. You're not planning here. So when you're feeling isolated and you're feeling lonely, you're not planning your day. We need more of a routine to come into effect for you. You have to start developing a schedule if you need be. So looking at our schedule, we're develop a weekly planner and try to schedule something, some activities that give you a sense of pleasure, that release that dopamine, you know, that gives you that pleasure of achievement. Simply getting up and making sure you brush your teeth, put on a bra, put on some pants, open up those blinds every day, close them every day so no one needs to see that if you are walking around with no pants on. My daughter. Never any pants. Oh my God. Anyway, we got exercise that can rock into that too. You know, you need some fantastic way of lifting your mood. This is a time for reducing stress and increasing ways that you connect with yourself and your body. Rocking into different ways here. Let's look into the Ace of Cups here. The Ace of Cups, different things that you see here. Well, this is feeling let down. This is feeling depressed. This is also feeling disappointed when we get the Ace of Cups here in reverse. This isn't about proposals and awesomeness in marriage. This one's in reverse here. This feeling a little let down. So if you're feeling lonely, you might have been let down here. Your heart may be hurting a little right now as well too. And right below that, we have the 9 of Wands for our last tarot card. The 9 of Wands is the isolation card. This is paranoia. This card here is keeping and maintaining boundaries, but if you notice, just one of the wands is in his hand and he's keeping the other ones up, all lined up. So what I think we should do here is called starting small. We're going to start off with baby steps and do little things at a time. If too many choices are bothering you, then you need to just pick one thing at a time. Pay one bill at a time if you can. Hit one thing at a time. This isolation, this boundaries that we're all experiencing on this planet is very, very hard to deal with. And let alone some of us have been dealing with it far, 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 far beyond the COVID-19 and before it was ever discovered. There's many of us have been very isolated and lonely. So this isolation is no big thing. But less social contact is a big thing. Having 25,000 friends, or that one person you could actually text and talk to, what's more important? That's something we're going to look into here too. Now rock it in here too into the Goddess Tarot card. The next one we get is Hathor, receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give others. To be able to put that energy out, and what you need to receive is what you also need to give out. But if you're having some of those too many choices and fears that are holding you back, I can see how that can be a pullback, be a hindrance, be a stop, right? I can see how that could happen. The next card we have is Akira, and that is blossoming. You are just getting started. Have patience with yourself in the process. Do not give up. This is about blossoming. This is about nurturing. This is a white flower of purity, a new beginning, and innocence. So whatever has happened to you, whatever you're fearing, whatever burdens you're getting through, think of it as a way that this this isolation that is happening on the planet, whether you've been isolation in your mind or your soul, or straight up been isolated well before the COVID-19. Think of the COVID-19 as a new year, as a reset to what you can do. What can you do? I don't want you to give up. The next we have is Arlene here. We have peace. And she's a sea goddess. And she says, there's no need to worry, as everything will work out beautifully. She's got amazing blue eyes. She's got dolphins swimming behind her. She too also holds the corn and also holds grape within her abundance, as well as the birth of a child. A young child in her arms. And no difference here is the King of Pentacles, how he holds the pentacle on his lap. Could be a son, could be a daughter. It's still showing the love. And the Taurus and the Virgo and the Capricorn, they're very, very family oriented. They're very grounding people. Going back with a blossoming card here too, is I really want you to have patience with yourself, and it's time to receive. I feel I need to ask you, have you been meditating? If you've not been meditating and you're also already on YouTube, there's so many guided meditations that could really help you recharge and reset. Even if you've never meditated a day in your life, meditating for 15-20 minutes a day could recharge your batteries, could reset. It's amazing what it can do for you. Those of you that are insomniacs and don't sleep very well too, that's a really lovely way to reset yourself as well. Now going on to our next card here, we have our Moonology cards, and we have You Are Good Enough. We have the full moon in Virgo. I want you to know you are good enough to take command and take charge and talk to someone about what you need and what you're feeling right now. The next card we have here is Be Bold and Make the First Move. That's interesting. That's right beside We Are Just Getting Started, and have patience with yourself. Be bold and make that first move. I think that's awesome to get. The next card after that we have here is A New Start is Coming. So alleviating some of that fear and letting go some of that fear as we have to. It's going to time to take some baby steps. So we're going to talk to someone about how you're feeling. Friends or relatives. If you're feeling really, really lonely, I need you to reach out. It's hard. Drop the pride. Drop any guilt. Drop anything you need to. Talk to a friend. Now what I'd like to do is we're going to exercise a little bit more. If you just get out and walk around the block once, take a first start. That's your first step. And schedule. I need you to do a routine. Schedule little baby steps, little routine. Pay one bill at a time. Take one walk around the block. Just one block, one little square. So we're going to do just one thing, just one at a time. And talk about, so we're going to talk, exercise, schedule, and we need a little extra socialize. So you have to think about all those friends you have on your social media and which one could you actually reach out to if you could. This is a time where I find even old friends have been reaching out to me that I haven't talked to in a long time. It's kind of cool. We're all reaching out for each other. So I don't think during this time it's an odd thing if someone contacts you that you haven't heard from in like 5 or 10 years. Just do it. Well, today was just about a short messages here. And I'd like to try doing something a little bit different here. And today I hope we've tried that. Try to be receptive with Hathor, okay? You're going to be blossoming here. with Aquaria, and you're going to feel peace with Arlene. I know you have a lot of choices here with the Seven of Cup cards right now, but you are a solid, practical dude, man. You got this together. You have a way of investing in your time and thought, and the Knight of Wands shows me that you're creative when you're doing it as well. So I know you're feeling little delays and setbacks right now, but I want you to know you're absolutely good enough. And taking these little fears that you have and just doing one thing at a time, okay? Small baby choices, small baby steps. And reach out, my friend. Time to reach out. Reach out to me if you want to. My email's on my community channel. Say hi. If you have no one else to reach out to, send me a little hello. Anyway, thank you so very much for enjoying this today and hanging out with me today. Throw me down with pile that you picked. If not, you don't have to. This is a personal reading. Kind of more of a private reading for just a chosen few of you. But thanks for hanging out with me again, and have yourself a wonderful day. All right, pile number 2, the turquoise shaped like a heart, coming at you. All right, what do we got here today? What we got here is some tarot. We're going to be rocking in with oracle cards. We're going to do oracle cards last. Kind of a clarity, confirmation, or advice. We'll just see what happens, and sometimes usually it's a nice little clarity. I like that. Now the first card we have here is it is in reverse. Now we have the Ace of Swords here. Now the Ace of Swords here does dictate stress. It talks about mental blocks. It talks about sometimes some poor judgment as well. And there are clouds coming in here. We do have blue skies. It's like the magic clouds coming in here holding the hands. So we're going to still say we got blue skies here. Those of you that follow me know that I really do read the symbols of the tarot cards. And the skies and the clouds are very important in the tarot cards as well. Now this one here, like I said, it's more mental blocks. So with this type of reading, we could be dealing with more blocks, more stress than during. And we're going to indulge into the other cards, and we're going to find out a little bit more here too. The next card here, we have the Five of Swords here. Now the Five of Swords, they don't have very nice clouds. They're jaggedy. They're angry. They're chaotic. Those are clouds of chaos. And those ones here, you can see here, like these guys aren't bleeding. This dude's even crying. This guy's walking away. This one's walking away. They're both disarmed. Not only he's got his own sword, he's disarmed them, and he's gotten other swords. He's like still arguing for the sake of arguing. You know, there's still some nattering going on here. And sometimes when this happens, we're wasting a lot of our own precious energies. Sometimes defeat and loss needs to be accepted before you can move on. And if you're still willing to wallow in these sorrows and this bullshit, then you're going to stay there. And as long as you keep saying, oh my, there's all the bad luck happens to me, or this happens to me, no, you're choosing to be there. You're choosing to experience the drama, because you could simply block, delete, breathe, and walk away. But you're not. You're choosing drama right now. You got some blocks you got to need to deal with here, and let's go through that here. Now, one thing I really do like seeing that, even though I just kind of gave you a little comeuppance there, but the Four of Swords is what I like to see here. And this one here is you've won the battle, man. I know you're exhausted, but this is about peaceful times now. You have some peaceful times coming to you. This is time for rest. This is a time for taking some solitude. Taking that inner time to recharge the batteries and retrieve. You know, there's only 2 cards in the whole tarot deck in the Rider-Waite that actually have stained glass in them, and this is one of them. And this one, unlike the other one, like the Five of Pentacles, this one here, inside the building, not outside where the Five of Pentacles where the 2 people are walking in the snow. This dude's inside. This is you, resting. The light of the stained glass is shining through and shining on you. You're enlightened. You may have exhausted some of your efforts here with the Three of Swords here, right here. But right here, you have still a sword here that is lightened and ready. And it's getting like powered up by the rays of the sun. You know, different by using the moon rays to empower crystals, right? Using the sun is a powerful thing indeed. Speaking of Three of Swords, my friend, yet another swords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 5. We have 4 swords out of 6 cards here. Now the Three of Swords, yes, is loss. Yes, it's destruction. Yes, it's disruptive. We're dealing with a lot of loss, and this is clouds of chaos in this one. But your trials are about overcoming the past is what I'm feeling. A lot of your blocks and the stresses that you're having in isolation is about overcoming a lot of the trials and tribulations of the past that you've dealt with. And I'm not just talking about the COVID-19. I'm talking about different things you've experienced, and your honesty and courage, and I really need you to be bold. I see the King of Wands here, the only one that's sitting here that is not, because the only other one we have is a higher card, and that's the Empress. We'll get to her in just a sec. All of them are sword energy. So that's, you're dealing with intellect and logic. You're dealing with the air signs. You're dealing with Gemini and Libra and Aquarius. Now here, dealing with the King of Wands himself. That's some fiery, passionate energy, my friends. That's some Leo. That's some Sagittarius. That's Aries right there. He's even got a little lizard here looking upon. They're checking out the babes. He's checking out here. He's checking out the babes. They know what they're doing. They have the courage. They have the boldness. They have the confidence. They're the badassery of the cards, my friend. I would like you to be bold. And what you need to be bold in here is avoid delay and indecision. Getting the Empress in reverse, I'm just going to give you the literal meaning. I'm not going to go into the whole explanation of all the, from the Venus symbols to the colors in this, to her stars in her hair, to, you know, the wheat that's below. I'm not going to tell you anything what they mean, because all you need to know is that you're avoiding delay and you're not making up your mind. Because we have blocks, and we have blocks, we need to unblock them. Things we can do to unblock them is we need to shout out, we need to support. We can't use our friends and our family all the time as therapists. We need to have actual therapists in our lives. YouTube's can't be your only outlet. We need to reach out as well. I want you to be active in taking control and taking a difference in your life. Let's rock into our next cards here. Now, the 3 next cards here we have is the Goddess Oracle cards. And the first one I have is a butterfly. This is Butterfly Maiden. Transformation. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So experiencing a great change and great blessings that are coming to you. And without you that have gone through the rest and have gone through the trials and tribulations that you have gone through, I'm glad to see you are recharging and recovering. I'm really glad to see your transformation. And I just got a little whisper in my ear. I got a little blow on my arm. It was very cold, and that's a confirmation for me here. We have Matt here. We have another Egyptian goddess here. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Now, I'm not sure if I read this or not. I feel like I'm having a deja vu. That's so weird. I'm going to have to edit that out. If not, we're leaving it in. That's so strange. I feel like I just read that word for word. Crazy. We have Stargazer lilies here, and we have white lilies of purity as well. We have this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. It's because we're dealing with some Libra energy here. This is justice here. This is honesty. This is fairness. This is solutions. This is truth coming out. This is your heart getting weighed by the feather so you can go into the afterlife. This is amazing. This is I have my heart tattooed right here on me. I'm having it hold by the scarab beetle so he can take my heart to the afterlife and make sure I have a good afterlife. We have Bast here as the next card, another Egyptian goddess we have right underneath that. I'm really drawn to the feathers, and the feathers are white of the purity here. You have messages from your angels that have been coming to you that you may not have been listening. Those of you that find when you're going on walks and you find a little feather here and there and you pick it up and talk to it and you carry on, those are messages from your angels, my love. Your angels are walking right beside you. They may be dropping you little messages, or the feathers are dropping as they're carrying you. Know that you are divinely guided and you are divinely taken care of. We have Bast, independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. I should show you the card here too. She's the cat goddess that looks after women and children. She's the cat goddess that looks after your home while the men are away. So that way their homestead and their women and their children are protected. Each one would have a cat in their house and pay homage to the cat. The cat would not only take care of the grain storage, but also would take care of them as well. And all they had to do was give them food and milk. That's a pretty good trade. I fear some of your blocks and your stress have to do with fear. I think you've been in some abusive times. I'm going to go back to the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords, this may not resonate, okay, for all of you, but this also represents abusive relationships. Straight up. And a lot of you don't know that I have a lot of male clients as well that I do private readings for too. And you'd be very surprised to find out there's a lot of abusive women out there that are control fucks and mind freaks. Control freaks, mind freaks. There's a narcissistic women as much as there are men out there. Your honesty and how you go about things in life is what really draws people to you for advice. There's something about you that's a little bit courageous, a little bit more bold, okay? You have a charm about you, and you're not weak. You're never weak, and I need you to know that. Let's have a look here at our Moonology cards. Now, the first one we have here is emotions are running high. We have the supermoon. Now with the supermoon and emotions that are running high, right next to the Three of Swords, right next to Butterfly Maiden, transformation. Do you see all the butterflies all around her? I'd like you to point out on the one side of her is a desert. So I see that you've gone through a desert where you felt deserted, you felt alone, you felt, yes, isolated. But the transformation and through this isolation and what is given to you is something different. And what I would like you to do is, okay, I need to read this one first before I go to that one. I really want you to discover something different. I want you to discover something once a week different. 3 times a week, if it's too much, it's too much. But let's do 3 to once a week. Discover something new and exciting activities that you can engage in. There are, I'm not promoting them. I'm not getting paid to promote them, but I take these courses myself. Udemy, Udemy. You can actually get free courses, free online courses too. So I challenge you, some of you out there, to take some free online courses. It's going to take 2 hours of your time. Is the smallest course that you can choose, and because there's some of them are trials or intros to the amazing courses that they do have for pay. And may I give you a hint, purchase them at the end of the month when they're cheaper, not at the beginning of the month, because they actually go down in price in increments. We have what we have here is a personal issue reaches resolution. We got the full moon in Cancer. Now the full moons represent results. They represent forgiveness. They also represent a time for gratitude, to give thanks within yourself. And seeing with the Cancer card here, the Cancer They like to be underneath a rock. They like to be in dark places. You know, I'm dating a Cancer right now, and his house is like all the blinds are closed. Everything is dark. They like to be in dark areas. They don't mean to be. They'll go out and tan. They just like to be in dark little areas. So it's time to open up those blinds, get that routine going. I don't care if you're working or not. Get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Get up. Wake up. Open up those blinds. Whether you need to or not, get into that routine. Make sure your dog goes out to pee at first thing at 7:15 every morning. Why should they have to wait because you're sleeping in bed? Next, if you're going to open up all the drapes and all the blinds all around the house. I don't want you to be that Cancer. I know emotions are running highs because you're in isolation. You need to make some changes, okay? I want you to know you have the new moon in Sagittarius here. The new moon in Sagittarius is cool. This is about a clean slate. This is potential. This is dreams. I want you to avoiding the decision making. I want you to be bold, okay? You have that within you. I know you're feeling the sadness and you're feeling the sorrow happening here with the times coming in here. But there's going to be a fairness, I promise you. I need you to exercise. I need you to get up some of your dopamines up. I need you, even if you just start doing, like, if you can't do push-ups, if you have stairs in your house or stairs to walk up to your house, all you need is 2 or 3 stairs. Up, 1, 2. You need 3 times a week to do those stairs. That's all you need. 3 times a week to get your heart rate up in 20 minutes, to get those up, to get out of a depression mode. I used to be a personal trainer. And there's things that you can do. I got a kitty hair at my nose and she keeps cuddling with me. Where is she? I'm going to give her more kisses. Anyway, I do know that these kind of things can help because I've gone through them too. And that's why this read is personal. So we need to get up, open up those drapes every day, whether you're working or not. And close those drapes at night because no one needs to see you with no pants on. I know that you're wearing no pants. Put on a bra today, too, if you can. Well, this was just a really short and sweet reading. I want you to talk to someone and be out there. I want you to talk to someone about your feelings. I want you to reach out to a friend, of anybody. YouTube is a huge community we have. And YouTube is a huge community that is reaching out to many, many, many people in time of need, okay? If any of you do not have a friend or family that you can reach out to me. In my community page, I have my email. Please do. If I can't help you, I will point you in the right direction. That's someone who can. Sometimes we just need to talk to a friend in need. And knowing that someone is there, even if we don't ever reach out, it's just nice knowing to have that. So if I don't hear from some of you, I understand. And none of you have to reach out just because I say this in the video. But if you do need to reach out, if you don't have anything to reach out to me. That's totally cool. Don't forget self-care. Put on a bra, put on some pants, take a shower. Let's reach out a little different here today. I know this was a different read, but we're going to have a little bit of your independence as a foundation. Your independence is a foundation to your strength and your success. I would like you to avoid your indecision making. I would like you to accept some of your defeat and accept some loss, because without that, then you can't move on, okay? During this isolation of the COVID-19, it's something that's different than we've never all experienced before, and it seems like we don't have that socialness. Some of it has experienced this even before the COVID-19. And this may be normal for some people, but this doesn't have to be normal for you. It doesn't have to be normal for those people either. Reach out. I want you to talk to someone. There's a support. If friends or family that are there, then counseling is needed. We're lonely, and it affects our mental health. It affects our mental health. It could also bring our immunity down. When our depression is down, when our mental health is really, really, really down, we don't want to be more susceptible to the COVID-19 as well, and that's what can happen as well. So, you don't have to throw me down a like, sub, and subscribe. I assume, I'm not sure if many people will after this one, but we have an interesting read. And I just wanted to say we have tools and we have different things you can do. We're going to rock it out here, my friend. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really, really honestly appreciate you. And throw me down a like, up, and subscribe if this resonated with you or if you do care. And thank you again. And have yourself a fucking kick-ass day, my friend. All right, we got pile number 3. We got citrine. This one's for you. All right, so let's have a little look-see, shall we? Now, the first card that I see here is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, this is like, I always call my gentleman, my gentlewoman card. They come in with respect. Absolute respect. They're just chilling there. They're holding to. This is reliable. This is maturity. Even with the yellow skies here, it shows prosperity. It shows hopes. It shows abundance. Could be dealing with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn here. This also could mean one other thing. Is a little lack of inspiration. Now, with dealing with lack of inspiration, sometimes we could have, right underneath that is the King of Love in reverse. Now, we have the King of Love in reverse here. This is sometimes about emotional manipulation here. This is about you commanding respect but not love, my friend. This is the King of Love. He should be this way. He should be filling his cup here and ready for love and abundance and giving. But instead he's this way. So you're commanding the respect but not the love. And right underneath that here we have the Nine of Cups. I believe you're standing in your own way of your own success, because the reason was that is I see you sitting behind here is a wall. This is your wishes aren't coming true right now, my friend. No, this is some laziness. This is looking for quick results. And when we're dealing with sometimes self-doubt, and we're dealing with what we have in isolation and dealing with loneliness and getting that all bundled up together sometimes can definitely like cloud our own judgment. And that's when we need to call out for support. And when we call out for support, it's not just asking for friends and family. Sometimes we need to call for support is professional support. Okay, so professional support could be a therapist or counselor or padre or our priest or pastor. Or priestess or priest, right? Depending on which faith you believe in, what you're digging on. But I believe you really need to reach out. When you have that self-doubt is when you need to reach out to those of someone of a higher authority of that. I wish I had the Hierophant card here right now, but I can say it without the Hierophant. And I do feel here with the Ace of Pentacles, you do have a spiritual maturity about you. There is a great success. Now this is a side here on the outcome. There's a great success and awesomeness about you. You are a person of power, man. And yeah, you are a powerhouse. With the Ten of Wands here, I usually say this is the Ten of Burdens here. This is burdens coming in here, and this is when I knew that it was to do with self-doubt and burdens coming into effect. But 10 is also of completion. Wands are also of creative and passion. To be creative and how to get out of that feeling of burden, that feeling of self-doubt. You are a person of power, and I don't let anybody take that empowerment and that power away from you, including yourself most of all. Now the Page of Cups here, I usually say this is the Page of Love, but he's in reverse right now. This, unless you change your situation, nothing is going to change. Unless you change your situation, you're going to amount to nothing. It's not going to amount and change anything. Not that means that you're going to amount to nothing. It just means like The situation itself is not going to surmount to anything weird, to anything obscure, because you are not changing in any way, shape, or form or fashion. Unless you take those chances, unless you start releasing some of the self-doubt. I would like you to start talking to her. I'd like you to reach out to friends, family, support here too. I like to do a little more socializing, what you may have to do, and how we're supposed to do that during the COVID-19. Schedule socialization. Okay, I'm going to tell you something that I'm not even telling my mother, but what day is what today? Today is Sunday. On Thursday or Friday, I scheduled a day drink. Yes, I started at 3 o'clock. I met my bestie online, and we talked for a bit, we got called up, we got solved the world's problems, and we started drinking around 4 o'clock. Okay, maybe 3 o'clock, I'm lying. Okay, maybe we cracked our first beer at 3. I sent him a picture of a beer that was already cracked. All right. But anyway, schedule something. Like, even my mom plays dice with her sister. She goes to her house. They still do this 6-foot rule. They both have their own set of dice, so they can play dice together. They just have their own pad too next to them. They can keep score. You know, it's about honesty, man. You got to do it that way, and that's just the way it has to be. It's about socializing and schedulizing. Instead of doing that 25,000, friends you have on your list, it's about that 1 or 2 people. Who's really saying, hey man, how are you? To who's really checking in on you? Out of all those people on your Instagram, out of all those people on your Facebook, who this week, let alone today, has said, hey, and are you doing it? It's time for you to reach out too. So someone says take a little self-doubt and set those burdens down. Let's take the Goddess Oracle cards here too. And I just flipped all 3 of them. You can't see, but all 3 of them are purple, which is really cool. That's really, really cool. So we're dealing some third eye chakra. Some third eye pineal gland definitely happening here. Now let's look at the first one here is we have infinite supply. You are supplied today for all your tomorrows. All your energy that you have and all your ideas are already here. You have everything that you need. Even looking at the whale here in the picture as well, this is about wisdom. This is about your own inner library. You have everything at your fingertips. You have all the resources that you need right at your fingertips. You have a whole, this is a pun, you have a whole whale of opportunity. A whole whale of opportunity that could release a lot of the self-doubt that you have. With Sedina, sometimes it's about even just throwing some salt in the bath and rejuvenating and getting those minerals back up in your own body. Now, Maeve is about the cycles and the rhythms. Honor your cycles of your bodies and high energy levels as well as emotions. Now, this is masculine divine and feminine divine energy as well. I love this one. I lived in Yellowknife for many, many years up in the northern region in Canada. And every time I see this one, for some reason, I think of the Northern Lights in Yellowknife or Northwest Territories. And she is, if you didn't look well enough, you wouldn't know she's dancing barefoot on the ice. And what's reflecting is the ice, and that reflecting is yourself. And it's a mirror of your own self-image. Let's see if that will reckon for us. There we go. Now, I have a Norwegian and Irish influence in me, and we call that Issa. And it's like it's a reflection to yourself. It's like holding the mirror. So it's whatever you're dealing with and whatever you dislike the most is probably what you have to deal with the most. It's kind of like desires and fears, Whatever you desire the most is also you fear the most. Now, I like this card too because of the Northern Lights and the beauty and how the night sky can like resonate and have blackness, and then all of a sudden in an instant you can hear what we used to do in the northern region. We used to grab a 6-pack actually, And we used to go on a little tiny hill. You don't need to be on a mountain because there's no mountains up there. There's no mountains at all. And you can listen. You just grab a beer. Each one of your friends have a beer, and you can hear them come down and sing and crackle. And when that happens, it's just enjoying the cycles and the rhythms of the earth. And sometimes releasing some of that self-doubt and releasing that everything in that moment of just, it becomes pure clarity. It just honors yourself. You need to find a moment, even if we're in isolation at home, and find a moment, a sacred place, a sacred spot in your house. And if you can clear out a certain spot in your house, you don't need to be pagan to have an altar. An altar could just mean pictures of your family, pictures of your mom and your dad. You know, it can be pictures of your family. Light some incense, light a candle every day. Start a little ritual. Open up, make sure you have it by a window. So that way you can have those blinds you open up every day because you want to have that sunlight coming on that candle as you light your intention. That I hope everyone is good in your family and doing very well. These little type of things that we can deal with when we're in self-isolation is like called baby steps. Our next one here, a card, it's funny, I just talked about candle magic. But we get Diana, and she is focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts and feelings and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. You know, so that's about focusing on a ritual for the day. You know, focusing on something that you could start off with your day with, and lighting that candle and lighting that inspiration. You don't have to say prayers. You can just say, you know, I wish that everyone is going to be having an awesome day. I put out intention for it, you know, this is happening for everyone today. You have an infinite amount of love, and I can feel that in you. There's an infinite amount of supply of love and knowledge. Even if you could start a little Facebook group and just put some funny memes up, because even just things and memes and happiness, little things that you could do, even for friends and family, you have no idea how much that could help. Let's have a little flip-see into our Moonology cards here. Now the first one I see is a time for healing. And we have here is, that's the waning moon. This is healing, soothing, and surrender. This is a time that you can take a rest. You know, I see this moon and the stars, and it's across the very, very calm waters here in the picture. Love seeing that one. Yet there's no reflection on the water. It's a time for absolute rechargement. Right below that, I see as your hard work is paying off, we have the new moon in Capricorn. And now the new moon represents new possibilities. It represents new beginnings. And of course, it represents a clean slate. Now, taking that Capricorn energy is really unique because they have, the beast itself is half a mainlander, half a sealander. So I would say choose whichever energy that you need to. And if you need to choose the water for a time for healing and a time to recharge, and do that. But make sure you don't forget about the horns and the Capricorn that is going to get you through that. Now, nothing yet is set in stone. We have the mutable moon as well. So nothing that you've gone through, nothing that I've said, anything can happen here, and anything that we can have said here, you can change your stars. But I want you to know, even though you've reached a spiritual maturity, and you will have a great success in your personal empowerment and the things that you've done and the things you're going to, and I honor you that you are honoring the cycles and rhythms within yourself. You do have an infinite amount of supply of love. A lot more than a lot of people have, which is really, really cool. And I wish they could have a chance to see that. So if you know what, I need you to reach out. As much as people may not be reaching out to you right now, I need you to reach out. I don't care, contact somebody you haven't contacted in a year or 3, because I recently had a friend of mine contact me that I haven't talked to in 9 years. And he said, hey man, how you doing? Are you prepping for the zombie apocalypse? I'm like, yeah, I totally am. Because our favorite thing was zombie movies. We used to go hang out, Netflix and chill. but we used to have our own weird, like, B-rated movies, and we used to drink a lot of beer and watch a lot of B-rated zombie movies. That was our thing. So obviously he needed to connect with someone that he hasn't connected in a long time. We had a falling out years ago, only because he had a crazy ex, and we all have, like, friends that have crazy exes, but he was like my bestie for many years, so I just had to let him go. But now he's back, and it's all because of the COVID-19. It's so weird to say, but hey, people reach out, because what I'm trying to say is people reach out for, because they just need contact from anyone, and he knew I would respond. Hey man, what's going up? And we haven't talked about that. We haven't talked in almost a decade. We're still talking about zombies and the apocalypse and prepping right now. It's been a week and a half. We're still talking about zombies. We still haven't acknowledged anything about the past. And whatever. Who cares? We both need it. And it's a lot of fun. So just enjoy. Okay? Just release. And that's what part of today's lesson is release. And find a new inspiration to release those 10 of burdens, okay? And you have to. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little... Not only I get spirit messages, but I can feel energies as well. And I can really, really, really feel a lot of self-doubt that is shaking in with you right now. And I really want you to reach out, and I want you to discover different ways. I suggested for the other pile, one of the other piles, I suggested you can even do free online courses, like anything. Come out with a skill out of this COVID-19. Do something different that can just start with baby steps and do something different. Something different than you haven't done before. And that's all it takes, is to do one thing once a week. And it's going to help you during this isolation. Looking forward to that one thing could possibly turn into that 3 times a week. You can check off on your calendar 3 times a week only. And you'll find yourself looking forward to it when you're starving for it, to waiting for that day to come. I just want to say thank you so very much for hanging out with me. And I know this was a different read, but you know what? Throw me down a little like and subscribe. Throw me down what pile that you picked. And thanks for hanging out with me most of all today. And have yourself an absolutely kick-ass day.